So, Millionaire Mindset today is about resistance. Where's your resistance? Do you care? And what do I mean by resistance? What I mean by resistance is do you is there something that you're striving hard to accomplish, and you seem to be getting momentum, and then it seems like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. There's a thing that's called that's called self-sabotage. Like, actually, Anthony Robbins talks about it. I heard that for the first time when I was probably 21. No, I probably heard it when I was about 30 years old. I think 26, 27, 28, 30 years old. And it was self-sabotage. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, there's a reason why some people self-sabotage. And 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 one of the things he talks about, one of the things I had to think about for myself was, and I even told this story some time ago, where it was I was I afraid of the success? Was I afraid because of too much work? Was I afraid because it was something that I'd never done before? Was I afraid because I was scared to leave people behind? Like, there's a lot of reasons like people self-sabotage, and it's a real thing. You might think, well, why would somebody be afraid of success? I thought the same thing, but it's a very common thing. However, that's just one way you get resistance. There's another thing that we get resistance by, and that is because my son and I, we were just talking, and one of the things we were talking about is how you don't become the person that is able to do the thing. So you're trying to move really, really fast to do a thing that you want to achieve or have a desire to achieve, but yet you don't have either the skill sets or the mindset to do it. You have the desire to do it, but you either don't have the skill set or the mindset to do it. And that's another way that we get resistance. And how do you overcome? And I'm going to give you ways to overcome both: failure of success, failure of just not transforming. You want to know what those few things are? In fact, I'll just tell you what they are now. There's actually five. There's actually just two key things. How much do you care? Right? And now, like, when I think about how much you care, how much do you care about what you're doing? How much do you care about the result, the reason for the result that you're looking to accomplish? How much do you care about those things? No, I'm not just talking about the money. Like, just think about money. Like, we're talking, it's millionaire mindset, so I'm going to talk about money. But it's even bigger than that. I'm not just talking about the money. I'm talking about what's the purpose of the money, right? The money does, like, I had someone ask me, does money buy happiness? And I said, no, I don't. I know money doesn't buy happiness. I believe that it's the the joy of the Lord, which is our strength. And so, but there's a difference between joy and happiness. Like, happiness comes from external. And so, yeah, I guess money could buy happiness in that sense. Like, if you want to, because joy comes from the inside. And you should be able to have joy regardless of what's going on around you, because it's the joy of the Lord which is our strength. And so there is a difference. So based on those two definitions, yeah, I guess money could buy happiness. But but there are a lot of people out there, as you all know, like very, very, very successful people, quote unquote, successful people. Think about celebrities. Think about think about Robin Williams. Like Robin Williams was one of the top comedians, and you would have never known. Like he took his life. He had all the money that he needed. He was an A-lister in his field, in his industry, but he took his life. Like think of how many celebrities just sabotage drugs, and you know, we were talking about Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man. You go back 10, 20 years, he was a mess, in and out of rehabs. Like there's so many of those. And what is it? So it's just an example that money does not buy happiness. It doesn't necessarily buy happiness. But what I do say is it does take care of a lot of the things that can cause you to be unhappy. But so do you care? So the question is, do you care about what? Like that's the question. Do you care about what? And what I mean is, when I say the money brings you, it takes care of a lot of things that want to try and steal your joy, right? Not having the ability to spend the time with your loved ones, not having the ability to be able to help those you really care about who really need it, not having the ability to break the generational cycles. Why? Because you might know, but people ain't listening to you. Why? Because you you out there hustling like everybody else. You out there grinding like everyone else. Doesn't mean you can't have an impact. However, people see things differently when you're grinding, and you're living paycheck to paycheck too. Having the ability to be able to build generational wealth, and do as the Bible says, when it tells us that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So money does help to deal with those things that want to steal our joy. Now, do you care about those things enough? The generational cycles, the building legacy, the helping family members. Do you care enough about those things, so that what? So that you could do the things that will help you to not have the resistance, right? What are those things that help you to have the resistance? There's so if you can, here's something that here's a quote that was actually shared by Jim Rohn. And what Jim said was, his quote was, if you care a little, you'll get some results. But if you care enough, you'll get amazing results. So if you care a little, you'll get some results. If you care enough, you'll get amazing results. So many times you're surrounded by a lot of people who care a little, and you find yourself getting results. But then you look around, or you think, and you realize that those results that you're getting are just like, they're mediocre. They're far below what your potential is. And but what are we talking about care? When we talk about care, what are we talking about? We're talking about, hey, what's up, Tony? Hey, Shantae, God bless you guys. Tiana, April, God bless you. When we talk about care, we're not just, what do we talk about care? Well, what is the thing that you're having resistance with? Like, are you building your business? Are you generating cash flow? Are you looking to escape your 9 to 5? Are you looking to get out of the rat race? Are you looking to stop the grind? What are those things that you're having resistance with? And what kind of care should you put into those things? Well, you want to know what kind of care? The care is going to be different than what you think. The care that I'm talking about is not just the care in the thing. The care that I'm talking about is not necessarily just the care in the result. Right? If you care enough about the result, which is not necessarily the money, but what the money allows you to do, then you're going to care enough about the other things that allow you to accomplish it. What are those things? Well, how much do you care about yourself? Like, how much do you care about taking care of, like, how much do you care about making yourself better? Just making yourself better. Before you make everyone else better around you, how much do you care about making yourself better? Had a conversation today with someone, and one of our students, she was talking about how, when you are on an airplane, what do they say when they give you the announcement? They say, in the event there's an issue, we lose cabin pressure, and the oxygen mask, they're going to drop down. Do they say to you, take the oxygen mask and put it on your neighbor, put it on your kids, put it on your wife or your husband, and then after that, you grab one and put it on yourself? They don't say that, do they? No. What do they say? They say, when the oxygen mask drops, first thing you do is put it on yourself. They don't care if you even got a baby, put it on yourself. Why? Because we have to help ourselves first to be able to have the strength and to be good enough and ready to help someone else. So that's a principle that most people don't get. Most people think they're doing this to help everybody else. They're doing this thing so they could do this for their wife, do this for their kids, do this for their friend, do this for their mother, for their dad. Like, that's all good. But there's a part of that transformation to become the person that has the ability to do those things that allows you to have the resources to change your life so that their lives can be changed too. And that isn't just about showing up and learning some technical things to make some money. It's about, are y'all with me so far? Like, I'm gonna just pause there because I just need to know if y'all with me so far. If you are, go ahead and type something in the chat box. Let me know. It's about self first, taking care of you before you could take care of them. And I know that seems to go against conventional wisdom, but go back and listen to some of the wealthiest people, most successful people in the world. It's not narcissism. It's not selfishness from a negative perspective. It's so funny. I had a conversation with my wife the other day, and I was like, I said to, and I said it just to see what she was gonna say. I was like, man, I can't. Like we've been together 38 years. I'm like, I can't believe you're still with me. She's like, what do you? I hear you, Tony. She goes, what do you mean? I said, I put on a few extra pounds, and I know one thing. I wouldn't want to, if I was a woman, I wouldn't want to be with a fat man. I said that. And yeah, don't April, you said yes. Yes, what? I hope you didn't say yes to what I just said. Anyway. All right. Maybe it just came in at the wrong time. But you know what my wife said? She said, I don't want to be the fat man either. So you ain't fat. And no, I'm I'm very happy. Well, part of that is like I say to her sometimes, I say, honey, you know, you gotta exercise. You got, get that heart rate up. I know you're taking care of yourself, but don't forget the exercise piece. The reason why I said that to her is for two reasons. One is because the reason why I'm doing this stuff that I do to take care of myself, I'm running, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miles a few times a week. I do my cold plunges. I do my best to eat healthy, right? I get sleep, like I'm reading books and making myself better, not resting on what I did yesterday, but looking to get better every day is so that I can be better for her. I do that so that I can be better for my kids. I do that so that I can be better for my students. How am I being better for them? Well, yes, I'm able to perform better, right? I'm able to to be more present. I'm able to be able to provide, wisdom. I'm able to be able to pray as I'm like in my relationship with the Lord. That's also part of that. But I'm not, but there's another reason why. Because I want them to be better for them so that they can be better for me. So they can be better for me. And how do they see that? Through that example. So how, when you're doing the things that you're doing, are it do you care enough where the example that you're setting, you care enough that you're willing to do the thing that's necessary so that you could be better for you to be better for them. And as you're better for them, they take that same example to be a better them so that they can be better for you and those who they're called to serve. Does that make sense? Y'all still with me? Am I so if you care a little, you're gonna get great, you're gonna get, what did Jim say? I don't want to misquote him. He said, if you care a little, you're gonna get some results. Regardless of what you're doing, you're going to get some results if you care a little, because that's just the way it is. But if you care enough, you're going to get amazing results. How much water, if you got a glass that's full, can you put any more water in that glass? Y'all, let me know. Type in the chat. Can you put more water in the glass if the glass is full? I know that the chats are coming through. It's a little bit of a delay, but the answer to that question is yes. You can. You can, Marva. Yes, you can. What do you have to do first? You got to be willing to pour some water out first. Like when we work, when we show up, like we it spills over, but you can also pour the water out, pour some water out so that you could continue to fill the cup. Like think about where you are right now. What got you here is not going to get you there. Not necessarily. Right? It depends on where that there is. If that there is maybe one step ahead, then chances are it's okay. But if the vision that you have for your life and for your family is significantly greater than where you are right now, what got you here is not going to get you there. If you're looking to stay pretty much close to where you are right now, then you're good. But even with that, eventually that's going to go backwards too. Why? Because things left to itself the law of entropy, the things that are left to itself will erode, will decay. So if you're not moving forward, in fact, you're actually moving back because you're going to just get worse, or things are just going to pass you. So what got you here won't get you there. And if you're just looking for little incremental growth things, you're still going to have to be better. But if you're really looking for that 10x growth, you really got to be a lot better. You can't just care a little, you have to care a lot. And if you care a lot, then the results that you get will be amazing. In order to get better, the stuff that you know, okay, you know that it got you here, pour some of that out so that you and you're getting better. You're reading, you're being healthy, you're getting coaching, like you're investing in yourself to get better. And you're not going to invest in yourself just to stay where you are. If you want to stay where you are, you could just stay where you are on your own. Invest in yourself. In order to invest in yourself, you're investing in yourself to get better. So you got to pour some of that old stuff out so that you can get the new stuff. Does that make sense? And so where's the resistance? That's the resistance. People self-sabotage, not necessarily because they're trying to. In some cases they do. But in many cases, it's either subconscious because they got these subconscious beliefs going on. They got these negative beliefs going on. They're not worthy enough. They're afraid to leave people behind, or there's resistance or self-sabotage just because they just ain't ready. Right? They're resisting the change. But then some people, the root of it is, in many cases, they just don't care enough. Or they're caring enough about the wrong thing. They're caring about the money. Money don't buy happiness. They care about the money. They got to care about them. They got to care about the reasons why. And if they care about the reasons why, then they're going to get better here so they can be better for them, and they'll get the result. So that's it. That's all I'm going to share tonight. Y'all know I could go on and on and on and on about a bunch of different things. And I made a promise that I'm going to keep the Millionaire Mastermind sessions short and to the point. And when I say short and to the point, like not short just for the sake of being short, but just give you something that you could take instead of making you drink from a fire hose. And so we're going to end with that. However, if you got any questions, what I would love to do, I'm going to pause there. If anyone has any questions, I'm going to sit, answer any questions for you for a few minutes. If you got any questions, we have our live group session in a half an hour at 7 p.m. on Zoom. It's our private session with our Airbnb Mastery and Inner Circle members. So we're going to get into some things there. So those of you who are here and you are students, then I'm going to meet you there in a half an hour. But we're going to spend the next 5 minutes or so answering any questions if anyone has any questions. Any questions? Any questions about resistance? Any questions about caring? Any questions about anything regarding what we just discussed? Any questions about what you're doing to get there? Any questions about what you want to be able to do to get there? Any questions about any of that? Let me go. I'm going to go on live and see if I can get my questions. If I can get my questions real time. So if I can get my questions real. All right, so there's definitely a delay. So all right, so it looks like we don't have any more questions. So with that, I'll see you guys over in the Zoom session in about 20-25 minutes. And God bless you. Listen, don't be your own resistance. Don't self-sabotage, because those people who you love and care about the most, they're counting on you. They're counting on you to reach that vision God's given you. So you care enough about you. If you care enough about them, you're going to take care of yourself first, and then you'll be better to take care of them. So God bless you. I'll talk to you guys soon.